continue our journey in slope, and we're working on slope of a line in slope intercept form. Now, slope intercept form looks like this. Y is equal to mx plus b, and we know m. M is your slope. We're familiar with that. The new component that we have is this one. Okay? And again, if you think about the naming of this, we're in slope intercept form. We already know that the x and the y, right? The x and the y is really just a coordinate, right? It's the x component, the y component. So if we're in slope intercept form and we know the slope, b has got to be the intercept. And that is the y-intercept. Now, the y-intercept, pretty simply, is the point on the y-axis that your line crosses the y-axis. So, just a quick sketch. If you have a line that looks something like this, okay, this is your y-intercept. Again, just the y-coordinate, because the x-coordinate there is going to be 0, right? Anytime you're on the y-axis, your x-coordinate is 0, your x here and your y here. So what we're going to look for, if we're going to write the equation of a line from the picture, from the graph, which is what we're going to do in this video, we want to make sure that we can identify the y-intercept. And you'll find that the y-intercept is probably easier to identify than the slope. So let's take a look and we'll see what it looks like, for us. Okay, so here's the first problem that we're going to look at. And again, if you look at it, we clearly do have a y-intercept, right? Our y-intercept is going to be here. So we know the equation of this line is going to be y is equal to, and our slope is going to go here, and our y-intercept is going to go here. Okay, so we have to identify where the y-intercept is. When we look at this, we can see the y-intercept here is at 2, right? The location of this point is at 0, 2. So our y value there is 2. It's a positive 2, so your b becomes positive 2. Now all we have to do is find the slope, and we're pretty much done writing the equation. Now if you remember, we've done the slope several ways. One way we could do it is we could identify 2 points, and we use the slope formula, the point slope formula, to calculate it. Or we can count. So let's say we're going to use this point here and this point, and let's count it. We'll see. So here we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. So we have a positive 3. That's our rise. And then our run is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 4. So our slope is going to be positive 3/4. And there you have the equation of your line. Now, if we went through and did this calculating the slope, we would identify our 2 points. Well, this one, clearly we identified as 0, 2. So this one is the one that we have to identify now. And that's going to be at 4, right? Going over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be at 4. And going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our 2 points are at 4, 5, and 0, 2. So let's label them. We'll put down 0, 2, and 4, 5. And we'll label each one. So this is going to be your x1, y1. This would be your x2, y2. And remember, our slope is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this problem, y2 is going to be 5, y1 is going to be 2, x2 is going to be 4, and x1 is going to be 0. So 5 minus 2 is 3, 4 minus 0 is 4, so our slope is 3/4, which is the same thing we got when we counted. Okay, let's take a look at one more example, and we'll see how it works. Okay, here we go. So again, you can clearly see we have a y-intercept, right? That means our line crosses the y-axis. And we're going to write our equation. Y is equal to something with an x, and then our y-intercept there. Hopefully you can look at this and see our y-intercept is going to be positive 1. So it would be positive 1. And now what we have to do is find the slope. So we have that point. Let's pick another point, maybe this one. And we'll count. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3. So we have a positive 3. We're going to go to the left 1, which is a negative 1. So our slope here is going to be negative 3. That's simple. Okay, but let's see what would happen if we have a line where we had a negative y-intercept. So just give me a second here. We'll just change the direction of our line. We'll make it something that's, hopefully it's going to be pretty easy to work with. Just want to give you something where we're not going to have to be guessing points. Okay, so let's look at this. So again, you can see clearly we do have a y-intercept, right? In this case, our y-intercept is at negative 1. So this thing that goes into our y-intercept is going to be negative 1. And then we just got to find the slope. So again, let's find 2 points. In this one, this is really the only other good point. You can see you don't want to pick a point like this, because you can't really see what the coordinates are. You don't really know what the values are. So always pick them when they go through these 2 lines. You know, on the grid, find something that goes through them nicely, just to make your life a lot simpler, and it will also give you a more accurate answer. So again, we can do this by calculating, or we can do this by counting. So let's calculate this one, because we counted the last one. So our slope, again, is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Our first point that we have here, we have one at 0 and negative 1. And our other point over here we have is at 4 and 2. So let's label our points again. So we have x1, y1. We have x2, y2. And again, it doesn't matter which point you make which. It's going to come out the same way. Okay, so our y2 is 2. And our y1 is negative 1. Our x2 is 4. And our x1 is 0. So 2 minus negative 1 is 3. 4 minus 0 is 4. So our slope here is 3/4. And again, you could have got that by counting if we would draw our triangle here, right? You can see I'm going down 3, and then I'm going to the left 4. Negative 3 over negative 4 is positive 3/4. We would get the same slope. Okay, thanks for watching.